I've been a student of philosophy for my whole life, and some of my favorites, perhaps my favorite of all, is Friedrich Nietzsche, but I also am a student of Schopenhauer, of Machiavelli, of Marcus Aurelius, of Montaigne, of various other, even 20th century philosophers. And I've talked about them in many, many interviews and kind of brought out the aspects of their philosophies that have had the greatest influence on my life and thinking. So here is a compilation of the many times that I have discussed these particular philosophers and how they intersect my own work. Marcus Aurelius said, when two people are fighting in the boxing ring and they're going at each other, they're clawing and hitting each other, the one person who gets hit doesn't go, "You're a bad person. I don't like you. Why did you hit me? Something is wrong with you." No, you realize that's just part of the game. Well, the game of life are people are going to hit you. They're going to claw you. They're going to scratch you. They're going to bite you. It's just the part of life. And instead of taking everything personally, you have to see that it's like a gladiator battle and that some people are bad, some people are good, some people are not, are in between. But stop taking everything personally and try to learn from it. So if you make a mistake, what you want to do, if you have failure in life, something didn't go right, you want to have the ability to look inward and say, what did I do wrong? And, a lot of people don't have that inner strength. But if you want to be successful, if you want to get ahead in this world, if you're tired of not having any kind of movement or advancing in your career, you have to develop the skill. You have to be able to look at yourself as if you were somebody else, as if from the outside, and say, here's how I could improve. Here's what I did wrong the last time I did it.
That connects to the thing that you and I made together, which is the amor fati coin.
Yes.
Which is the idea that it's also a Nietzsche phrase of sort of loving everything that happens to you, not resenting it, not fighting against it, not carrying around a grudge or a burden, but sort of embracing it and finding the good in it.
Yeah.
Where does that fit in with our human nature?
It doesn't fit in because it's not natural to us. Our natural frame, our natural starting position is when something bad happens, why me? To feel sort of a grievance, to feel that things aren't fair, to feel that other people aren't giving you what you want or what you deserve. We start from a position of feeling kind of sorry for ourselves.
Right.
We deserve more than what we're getting. And so a lot of what I'm talking about in this book is overcoming some of these natural elements in human nature and turning them around and using them for another purpose, another way. And amor fati is very powerful in that you train yourself to accept everything that happens. It's sort of a banality to say that things happen for a reason, but there's some truth to it. For Nietzsche, it was, this is life. Life involves pain. Life involves adversity. You're going to die one day and it's not going to be pleasant. Your friends and family members, they're going to die one day and it's not going to be pleasant. You're going to have failure in life. People are going to hurt you. But that is life. That's what it is. So to resist that, to be angry about that, means to not love life itself. Machiavelli has that quote, so that if you expect everybody to be good in this world, you're in a lot of trouble. What are you going to do when you deal with people who aren't good? But yeah, you have to be willing to get your hands dirty. So let's say a classic example, like there's a cause that's very important to you, like the climate or, justice in America, racial justice in America, all very important issues that most of us believe in. If you have to be willing to get down and dirty here because you're playing with politics, you're playing with people who are going to resist, you're playing with major corporations who are going to bust your balls, who are going to be incredibly manipulative and downright evil in co-opting your good idea and kind of, neutralizing it. So if you're going to if you want to create something, if you want to actually have results, you have to be willing to get a little dirty, and you have to be willing to be strategic. You have to understand that the other side might not be playing by the same rules that you're playing with. Character is the core of a person, something they can't control, something that comes from deep within, and it causes people to have patterns of behavior. And you want to find people who have a strong character to associate with as opposed to a weak character. And what a strong character is people who are adaptable, who are fluid, who can admit that they are wrong, who can learn from their experience, who can take criticism, who can work with other people. So one of the parts of this book is I want you to focus not on people's charming exterior, on their funny words, on their wit, on their charisma, and instead focus on that deep inner quality, that core, that character, because that's who they really are. Your character is creating what happens to you in life. There's the famous quote of the ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus, "Character is fate." For Nietzsche, it was, this is life. Life involves pain. Life involves adversity. You're going to die one day and it's not going to be pleasant. Your friends and family members, they're going to die one day and it's not going to be pleasant. You're going to have failure in life. People are going to hurt you. But that is life. That's what it is. So to resist that, to be angry about that, means to not love life itself. There's a quote, this French philosopher, Baron de Montesquieu, a political philosopher from the 18th century that I kind of like, and it goes as follows. We have 3 educations in our life. The first is from our parents, the second is from our schoolmasters, and the third is from the world. And the third education contradicts all that we learn from the first 2. And basically, what it means is you go and you learn all of these skills and all these very important things in university, but essentially the years that follow, what I'm going to call your apprenticeship, requires a different way of thinking. The rules are completely different. It's not the same. In fact, many of the things that you learn and many of the habits that you learn early in your life are actually the wrong kinds of things that are going to help you, that you need in this path towards mastery that I'm drawing.
Schopenhauer has this quote that if you're walking down the street and you hit your foot against a rock, you don't go get angry at the rock. Well,
Sure.
People are rocks in your way sometimes.
Right.
And I don't mean that to depersonalize them. I mean in the sense that they are who they are. They have their own nature, and that nature isn't yours, and it's going to clash with you sometimes. And that is just what it means to be a human being, an adult in the world today, in any world. So are you going to be like complaining and blaming the fact that it is a boxing ring? Are you going to complain that people have a nature where they have an ego, where they're full of envy, where they're passive aggressive? And then in the process of complaining, you're putting yourself at a continual disadvantage because you're draining yourself with all these useless emotions, and you're not playing proper defense against them because you're all consumed with kind of personalizing the situation. Or are you going to have some distance and be like a boxer in a ring and be smart and intelligent about it, you know? And I just think it's a brilliant metaphor for life. It's a brilliant metaphor for being in control and for accepting the fact that some people play a little bit dirty. Some people are going to hit you. It's going to hurt. But you don't whine and complain. You just figure out how are you going to defend yourself better.
Well, it's actually a phrase from Nietzsche. He says we feel Schadenfreude, really we should feel Mitfreude. Freude means joy. Schadenfreude means pain in joy, getting joy in other people's pain. Mitfreude means joy with, mit meaning with. And it means when other people have something good that happens to them, you feel their joy. So it's very unnatural. If somebody comes to you with good news, your immediate reaction is, oh, I'm a little bit uncomfortable. Why not me?
Yeah.
Why you? Oh, maybe you're just lucky. Or, you don't really deserve that. You may not be honest with yourself, but that often happens. Can you train yourself to actually feel the joy that other people feel when something good happens to them? It kind of opens up your whole mind, your whole spirit.
Well, you know who one of the great Stoics of the 20th century was?
No.
Alfred Hitchcock.
He had a plan for everything.
So directing a film, if you've known other people who've done it, is an extremely stressful job. It's like directing an army into a campaign because problems are arising that you cannot anticipate. There's all this pressure. There's all this money. You've got insane egos of actors, producers, etc. And so it's like it's a constant adrenaline rush going through. You can't control your emotions. So Hitchcock, people would look at him on the set and he'd be falling asleep in the director's chair. He'd look like Buddha. His eyes were closed. Why? Because he prepared for everything. He anticipated everything that was going to happen, right? And so by the time the film came, he was completely bored because he knew he was able to control every aspect of the production.
I talk in this book a lot about toxic people, and I have a quote in there from Schopenhauer saying that we think that evil people walk around with horns on their head, or that fools have cap and bells. But people who are toxic are masters at disguising it. They've learned since they were 3 years old to present a normal, saintly front to the world. Envious people, and there are envious people out there, don't go announcing themselves that they're envious. They become your friend in order to wound you. They ingratiate themselves out of a secret desire to find a way to punish you.